Yo, what's up, guys? So this one is called M-Ichael Booth. Everybody give him a round of applause. One of the biggest directors in the world, I'll have you know. Okay? So let me say this before I get going. Let me tell you this, Gavin. You know, the shit, I got it right here. The shit talk you've done on me. Have I ever addressed you anywhere? Nope. The shit talk you talk on me, believe it or not, it's not the flex you think it is, dumb fuck. It makes you look worse than me. Okay? You know, and that's not the look, as they say, for the studio world. Maybe that's how the indie world does it, you know, on shoestring budgets and shit like this, and act like little babies and little, you know, third graders and shit like this. But that's not the studio world, man. If you make announcements like this out there, no one's impressed with someone who starts problems. You see? You see the difference between a fucking absolute pro and someone who's a fucking indie fucking. Let's get into this. Okay, so someone asked me the other day. They said, you know, they're like, I'm not on Twitter anymore. Do people still talk shit on you and do the pylons and this kind of shit? And I said, no, not really. I mean, my last pylon was like, I don't know, 3 years ago. People have kind of made their decision about me and blocked me and fuck him, or people are cool with me. So everything's pretty like smooth sailing nowadays. But anyway, so then I'm like, let me type my name into Twitter and see if, you know, if people that have me blocked are talking shit on me. I don't know. I don't see that shit. You know, I've never looked for it. Let me go look for it. Let me see if there's anything. Boom. This shit pops up with Gavin Michael Booth, the greats, guys. So, and by the way, if you follow Gavin and you like him, keep following him. Keep doing it. I don't roll like that. I don't try to get people blocked or anything like that. This is a video directly for you, Gavin, you bitch, you fucking pussy. Let me go through some of your shit, by the way, because you're such a big shot, right? Let's see if you actually are. That's my question, Gavin. So, so here's something he said. So Jonathan E. Stewart posted this. He said, there's a bunch of screenwriting posts circling about how contests and paid coverage / listing sites don't really help screenwriters. Okay, so what do you do instead? And then I didn't see the rest of it. This is all I need. So, you know, Jonathan's trying to help people, right? Cool guy. You know what I'm saying? Gavin Michael Booth quotes him and says this: he lost me almost with a Jason Smiley nod, but everything in here is solid gold. To get that, is that Canadian speak? Let me try to like translate it. He almost lost me with a Jason Smiley nod, but everything else in here is solid gold. Correct? Isn't that what you mean? And you're this dumb fuck Gavin already blocked me, and then goes into Reddit or Twitter and says, I just want everybody to know this. Let me try to what? Try to get a pylon? It didn't work, dude. It was your pylon attempt was a fucking flop, dude. For being such a big shot director, it was an absolute flop. Is that kind of like in movies? You got 6 hearts, and you got cute, and you got 1 comment. 1 comment out of the entire fucking globe. That's a flop, brother. Okay? So, then there's this one. Steve Martini said, Grok, can you find all the people most likely to click this link and watch my feature film, now streaming on Amazon Prime? Gavin Michael Booth jumps in there and said, I'd also never watch anything it thinks Jason Smiley would enjoy. Why are you bringing up my name, dude? You got a hard on for me? You need attention from me? Okay, here, I'm giving you attention, Gavin. Okay, happy? But let's go through some of your shit though, Big Shot. So sidebar. Shout out to Steve Martini. If you haven't seen Bittersweet, check it out, guys. Bittersweet on streaming content near you. Check it out. Steven is hilarious, man. I gotta watch this. It's on my list. My list is so long, dude. I'm gonna get to all that shit. But anyway, so why would you say, well, like what a fucking like not only dick thing to say, but also just weird. Like, why is this guy bringing me up? Where I don't bring G-Avin up, just randomly, coincidentally, I did the other day to point out something good that he said, because I'm not a bitch like that. I'm happy to point out when someone, even though, see, I already knew I was blocked at this point, and I still pointed out that what G-Avin said in here is good. This other thing, you see? I already knew he had me blocked, but I'm not a little bitch like him. It's gonna sting a little bit, G-Avin, when we go to your numbers, I promise you, dumb fuck. So I already knew he had me blocked, and when he blocked me, he called me a fraud or something like this, and then put that emoji of Homer Simpson fading into the bushes. What an absolute bitch. Does that mean you'd run from me in person? You fucking bitch. So you're not a man, dude. Men don't do shit like that. Men stand behind what they say. You get the difference? I stand behind what I say. I don't have you blocked, dude. Maybe I do now. I tend to block people after they block me. Now you don't get to see what the fuck I say. That's the only reason I do it. But some people I just forget to. Anyway, so I thought when he called me a fraud or whatever he called me, I thought it was a joke. There's backstory here to the homies and homegirls. There's backstory here, which I'm gonna get to in 1 second. But here's to you guys. This is the thing. This is how you do not want to act. This is not gonna help you. You don't want to look like one of these people that's gonna go out and start problems. And notice this: I don't start problems. I respond to people. When I talk shit, you got to pay attention. When I talk shit on the services, I'm talking about the structure of the service, not the person. You know what I mean? But this guy's coming at me. And before this shit, I was under the impression that we were cool. He used to go in my rooms and shit, and I thought we were cool. And he's pulling this absolute fucking childish nonsense, dude. How fucking immature, dude. This looks like you got a little bit of a screw loose, G-Avin. That's my fucking point. Why would you risk talking shit on me, and you think that can't hurt you in Hollywood? It can. See, you're so inexperienced with Hollywood that you don't even think about that point. That you don't even think about me going after people. Hollywood could see you and be like, we don't need someone like that. Let that guy stay in the fucking indie world. Did you break out of your movie and into studio world? Did you? I didn't fucking think so. Wasn't your last movie in 2019? That's a while ago, dude. You're only, by Hollywood terms, you're only as relevant as your last fucking 2 years, essentially. Let's get into that though. Okay, so I looked up, what's the budget? What's the budget of his movie Last Call? What is it? It's $50,000. Am I supposed to be impressed? Honest to God, G-Avin, I assumed it would be much higher than that. I was thinking $500,000, add another zero to that. That's what I was thinking. I don't go watching movies because I don't give a fuck. I don't really watch a lot of indie shit, especially if someone's a fucking dick and thinks they're God's gift to fucking filmmaking. Look at you in this shit. Look at you, bro. Mr. Big Shot Director. I'm a real director. And you got your fucking headset on, you get a little dumbass like director's hat on. Does it say director across there? You walk around town like that? you know, with your headset on. I'm a director, guys. You know, excuse me. You know, do you do that shit? What a fucking clown. Who do you think you are? Chris Nolan or some shit? You're a fucking nobody director. That's a reality. Or guess what? Or you'd be signed by who? By one of the bigs, like a CAA or a WME. Who in the room besides, who in the room, me and you, who's ever been signed there? Me, not you, okay? I'm supposed to be jealous of you for what? Because I'm a real director. I know my gels, I know my lenses. I don't give a fuck, and you do small, that's a micro budget, bro. To be honest with you, that's micro, okay? So then I also wanted to look, then I went on to IMDb for what reason? Because I'm looking to see if you even, are you a real director? Did you even use a fucking composer, or are you doing this needle drop shit? But okay, gold star for you, Gavin. Boop, right in your fucking nose. Because you did use a real composer. But here's the question though. What did that composer get paid? See, I know what composers are supposed to get paid. Is that a job I would take as a composer? Fuck no. Would I be a composer on your movie and kiss your feet and shit? No. I would read the script and be like, fuck this thing. Absolutely not. By the way, here's an offer for you. I will happily read a script to give you some notes, even though you already finished it. Even though you already finished it, because you've not gotten as high as me as a writer, okay? I'll tell you why it doesn't work for you as a screenwriter. I'll give you some tips, okay? From someone who's already been signed a bunch of places, okay? Not by my ex, okay? And I'll give you some names in 1 second that you can go check up on me. You can go fact check me, Gavin, big shot. But can you even get to these people? But let's finish with this, with the composing aspect. What's a budget of what you would pay the composer? $1,000, right? 2%. Right? Somewhere around there. Were you one of these fucking directors who is like, you know, you think you're a big shot? You're working with 50 grand, dude. That's a nothing budget. And I wouldn't even point that out. I don't point that out to people that are cool. But since you're going to be a dick, I will point it out. That's a fucking nothing budget, big shot. You're paying your composer $1,000-ish to do your whole score? That's nothing, dude. How much is that a day? How long does it take to score that shit? It's almost no money per day. That's less than minimum wage is my point. Way less. And would I do that? Hell no. Let me give you another thing. Okay, let me get finished with the composing. Dude, I made more ghosting than your whole budget for your whole fucking movie, okay? Big shot. Would I take a movie? Fuck no. But also, so I did get signed at CA, Gavin. I did. Off what? On my first fucking script. Did you get signed there? You're a big shot director. Did you get signed there? But here's the funny part, dude. Off my very first script, Gavin, I acquired a budget of $1 million if I wanted to. And who was the actor who CA was trying to get for that? Anton Yelchin, who you fucking heard of. Okay? Not some, you know, I don't want to put down who's ever in this movie. I'm not going to watch it, dude. Anton Yelchin, okay? He's Canadian, isn't he? Right? But my agent said, nah, what about, like, we can try to do that, but you'll be gone for like 2 years. Why don't we go to TV? We can go out right now and try to get that going. And money, okay? That's why I went that way. You want to call me stupid for some shit? Maybe that's stupid. Probably I should have fucking taken that and just done the fucking movie. Even though you think, oh, you could never pull it off like my shit because I know all the gels. I would just hire a fucking badass DP, bro. But regardless, the funny part is I had more money for my very first thing than you do now as a big shot director. How pathetic. And then I went over here and wrote my first fucking pilot and landed my first choice showrunners. I'll tell you who they are, Gavin, and you could go check up on me and fact check me. I've never admitted this. It was the showrunners from Nip Tuck. They came off that show and they were super hot, and they went to my show. They wanted to do mine. That was going to be their next thing. With who involved? Bella Bajaria. You ever worked with some people like that big? I didn't fucking think so. Or who was it? Just tell us. Or have you had Erwin Stoff say, go check all this, fact check me, dude. Or have you had Erwin Stoff say, hey, do you want to write something for me? It's the movie that inspired me to get into the film industry in the first place. I want you to write it for me. Do you want that? If so, I'll go tell the studio to buy it for me and that you're the writer. Anybody ever said that to you? You ever dealt with people like this at that high of a level? Ever? Who? Name them. I don't believe you. How about that? I'll go as long as I want to, dude. What else? Have you ever written a show that M-Ichael DeLuca attached to and that David Levine was interested in, and you've already known David Levine from way back in the where was he at? Starts with the M, I forget. That's where I met him. Mandalay. You know, we tried to get several things put together, and you know, I already knew Ellenberg from Scott Free. Because the script that Erwin liked, I'm trying to do the math for you, the script that Erwin liked to offer me the job for that, I did fuck it up there. I've done some stupid shit, Gavin, but that's higher than you've been in that world. That's my point. Over here, I already knew Ellenberg, so I already knew both of them when I'm walking into HBO with that shit, okay? Have you been to that level? To even try. You know, you can put me down all you want, but have you even been to that level? To even try to do something at that level? Have you? With who? I could name more things, but you get the fucking point. Here's what's funny here too. Let me show you this, because I pulled your shit up. Gavin, here's your little movie. Last call. Can you see it? Is it on screen? There you go. So then I'm looking at stuff, right? I'm looking at stuff. Okay, what does this look like? Okay, whatever. Then I'm like, who's in it and shit? I'm looking at it. More. Let me see what else. And I'm going down to. Oh, look what I see. Oh shit. Oh, there's a real movie. You recognize that? Can you see it, Gavin? There's a real movie. You want me to enlarge it for you? Give me a second. Hold on. Related interest. Oh, shit. I wonder what movie that is. Gavin, it's a way bigger movie than you. Okay? I found that funny. If you couldn't see what that was, it wasn't right, it's Gone Girl. Okay? Here's the funny thing about that, Gavin. I made more on Gone Girl than your whole fucking movie costs by a lot. Keep doubling that. Than your whole movie costs. That's what I find funny, dude. You're sitting here putting me down. I made more than you as a big shot director. I made more than you ghosting. No credit. I made more than you ghosting than you as a fucking director. That is pathetic, dude. I made more on Gone Girl than your whole movie cost. Add what your whole movie cost and what you made on that. I made more than that than your whole thing. What am I supposed to be jealous about? I'm fucking confused, dude. Okay? Now, let me ask you, is it this? Is it this, Gavin? Is it that? So, did I forget anything over there? You know. So I have some questions for you there, Gavin. I have questions which are, why are you not signed? Are you signed? Tell everybody who the fuck it is. Are you signed at CA or WME? If not, then I don't give a fuck. Okay? So is this what it is? Is your hatred for me or whatever? See, bro, why are you such a bitch too? That's my other question. See, I would never do that to you, Gavin. I would never. See, see, to the homeboys, I thought me and this dude were friends, dude. He would go into my room on Clubhouse and shit, and he was welcome. Come in, bro. Whatever. Everybody's welcome. Meanwhile, this guy has a thing against me the whole fucking time. Even though for studio shit, I know way more than this guy. Never done anything in the fucking studio world, or name it. And by the way, Gavin, when I say I've already done the industry, what do you go look at my credits and be like, you fucking loser? I did Last Call. Have you know Last Call? That might be your last movie, dude. Speaking of that. Ever thought of that? That might be it for you, bro. It's not even a big budget anyway. What a joke, bro. When I say that, I'm talking about the social aspect of Hollywood. I'm not talking about credits. You know, you haven't even made it high enough in the studio world to have something fall apart at that high of a level. I'm not sitting here trying to make a movie for 50 grand, dude. One of my homeboys wants to do a movie. I could call him up right now and be like, dude, I figured out what movie I want to do. It's this. We can do it for 50 grand. He'd be like, cool. I'll write your check today, right now. Let's do it, dude. Let's go. My problem isn't getting the money, dude. It's about time. My problem's not writing a fucking story that's fucking amazing. I've already been signed. I've already worked with various people and proved that I'm fucking good. Try, you know, other shit than that. Trying to put something together with Kleiner, you know, multiple things, whomever, bro. Have you done any of that shit? Or just this? See, I wouldn't be calling it just that if you weren't such a fucking dick and a bitch. See, I would never do that. What I would have done is this. If I had a problem with you, I'd be a man about it, and I would say, pull you aside and say, hey, man, you pissed me off because of this, that, this, that, this, that. You know, if you would have pulled me aside like that and been a man about it, you pissed me off because of this, that, this, that. I'd be like, oh, shit, I didn't know. Sorry about that, man. You know? Like a fucking man, not like a little girl, dude. Like a little tween or some shit like this. What a joke, dude. So anyway, is this part of the problem too? Because here, let me frame this like this. So this part's for the homeboys. You can stick around and wait for my question if you want, Gavin, or fast forward it to the question. So, you know, during the pandemic, you know, I jumped onto Clubhouse and I saw these rooms like that. And by the way, one of these times, I'm just going to go through what I mean about, you know, when I say I've already done the industry, I've already seen it. I'm talking about the social aspect. Like, what's an example? Like that. Like, have you ever dated anybody famous? Gavin, you can't fucking say who it is. You ever done that? You got to keep it on the down low and shit like this. You ever done that? You know what I mean? I'll tell you. I'll get close to sort of one. I dated Brooke Burke's best friend. You ever done that? That's what I'm talking about. Shit you've never fucking done. You ever been sitting in Brooke Burke's room with her girlfriend, and Brooke Burke's in a fucking G-string and shit? In a little top like that big, and you're kind of like trying to see a little something. You ever done shit like that? You know, like real Hollywood, real shit. You ever done that kind of shit? I didn't think so. I'll do a video one time like that. Like, this is what I'm talking about. the social aspect, this part's like the shit that directors like this will never fucking experience. I don't think, or do it. Anyway, so Clubhouse. So I'm on Clubhouse, and I see these people. I see these people. Did I say that? I want to make sure I make that body slam. Yeah, I made more off Gone Girl than you made, than your whole budget cost plus whatever you made off the movie. Like that. Okay? Fuck you, dude. Anyway, so I know it pisses you guys off. That's why I say it. And I made money off other movies too, dummy. More than your whole budget, dude. So I'm on Clubhouse, right? I go over there and where am I on time-wise? I'm fine. I'll go to 30. That's fine. I go to Clubhouse and I jump in these rooms. I'm invited to Clubhouse, back then, and I jump in these rooms and I see, there's like screenwriting communities in there. Let me not forget this point. So when I jumped into there, Gavin, it's not as if the last time I was signed was like 10 years ago. When I jumped onto Clubhouse, I think I ended things with my manager maybe, I don't know, 6 months before that, something like that. 6-7 months before that. It's pretty fucking recent. I was going out with shit right before that. You know what I mean? We put the list together. It's all those people like Doug Lyman and all this kind of shit. Jeremy Kleiner. I'm the one who introduced that manager to Jeremy Kleiner. Okay? I'm going out with shit right before that. Right before COVID starts. Right before everybody jumps on Clubhouse. I wasn't like super out of the loop, dude. Okay? Were you doing that shit? I didn't think so. So anyway, so I jump on the Clubhouse and I see these rooms. It was like the Bobby Del Rio days, right? And so I go in those rooms and it's so fucking pretentious. And I can just tell by listening to these people do not sound like the Hollywood people that I know. Do not sound like fucking, So, and then down below, they treated everybody like peasants. Like everybody wait in line and they would just talk amongst themselves like forever and like, oh yeah, sorry, we forgot about the peasants down below. You're allowed to come up, but you're restricted to one question only. Make it fast. Don't pitch anything, and then we'll see if we give a fuck to even answer a question. But we know everything about Hollywood, collectively. I'm just like, what? Immediately I can tell Bobby Del Rio doesn't know a fucking thing about anything about Hollywood. Nothing. Okay? But I find it funny, though. I do. Sidebar, maybe there's probably some people that don't know this, is one time, it was one of the big rooms and shit, and I jump up there, and he used to hit me. I would go on he said to me, he said, in his room, he said, I have a crush on you, man. And I'm like, hey, thanks, back at you or something, and then he back channeled me and said, hey man, we're going hiking up to the Hollywood Hills sign, do you want to roll out? I had another commitment, so I'm like, I can't, man, but I was like, let me try to move that around because I want to go hang out with Bobby Del Rio, man, because I think it'll be fucking hilarious. And so and I would jump in there sometimes, and he'd see me jump in, and he'd ping me, jump up, And so I almost went. I'll wrap this up soon. I almost went hiking with him to the Hollywood sign, which I've never hiked to the Hollywood sign. I'm half black, dude. I don't fucking hike. I'm from Hollywood, dude. Born here. So I'm like, fuck it. That'd be a funny story, man. So I was, go up to Hollywood sign and get a selfie. We got to do a selfie, homeboy. Come over here. Me and Bobby Del Rio and the Hollywood sign behind us. And now I was gonna make that my little profile. Oh, dude, that would have been hilarious, man. Epic. So anyway, I couldn't make it, but so anyway, so I'm like, this room is, and so I started my own room where I wanted that room to just be casual, There's no queue. There's none of that. It's just you come in and anybody's allowed to talk at any time. You know, they used to call it popcorn style. Just go for it, man. If someone has some shit they want to talk about, anything, dude, you know. It started mostly as industry shit, but then it kind of evolved into like we had a little family, kind of, you know. Like we would go late night and talk about a lot of fucking deep shit, not only just like movies and shit. But there was no pretentiousness in there, and I think that's what people liked about it. And I started it. That was my room. I started it. But then, you know, I think I made it pretty clear that I started this thing, but it's not my room. It's all of our room. Okay, we're all fucking equal in here. No one's the fucking big shot. None of that. I didn't want that in this room. You want to go do that in some other room? Go fucking ahead, man. That's how I felt. And didn't you go in my room, Gavin? And was I a dick to you? Never, dude. I was never been a dick to you at any moment. I've never said anything negative about you before today. Nothing, dude. And when you called me a fraud and shit or whatever the fuck you said, I thought it was a joke because I thought we were friends. But no, you're doing this baby shit. What do you go talk to Rob behind my back and talk a bunch of madness? You know what I'm saying? Is that what you do? I don't know what you think. Do you think I'm afraid of you or some shit? Like, I'm not afraid of you. I'm not a little guy, bro. Ask Rob. Last time I saw him, I said, Rob, you look like you're shrinking, bro. Well, how tall are you, Rob? Like 6'4"? Something like this? I'm like, you look like you're shrinking, bro. And he's like, what do you got, like lifts on or something? To me, like you thought I looked taller or something? I'm like, no, dude, I got like boots on, but the sole's like as big as a tennis shoe, you know? Like, he's like, let me see, dude. I'm like, they're not like fucking lifts, dude. I'm not a little tiny guy, dude. I'm not super tall, but I'm not fucking small. My point there is this. I was at Comic-Con, dude. If you wanted to talk shit on me, go say it to my face. Go say it to my fucking face. You think I'm afraid of you? I hope not. I hope that's not what you think. But think whatever you want to think, dude. Well, I'm saying that because I might run into you at some point, at some event or something. I still go to events and shit occasionally. You never know, bro. Okay? But stand behind what you said. This is me standing behind what I'm saying. Right here. I'm not doing this privately. I'm not subtweeting you. None of that. I'm telling right to your face. I'll call you on the phone and tell you the shit right there. I'll meet you in person and tell you the shit right to your fucking face. I feel the same way as what I'm saying right now. Anyway, is this what so you were always welcome in that room is what I'm saying. But what happened in that room is this. The room was running fine. Like we would, by the way, if this is not for you, Gavin, it's for other people. I would mod everybody. That was the vibe in my room. Everybody gets modded. You know, initially when it was a small room, but then it turned into like, then the people we knew would get modded. So there'd be like 30 fucking mods, no problem. You know, and it was fun back then. So, you know, you can drop people to the goo. If anybody said anything the slightest bit out of line, we'd drop them to the goo. And it was a game we would play. It was funny. And then we'll just bring them right back up. It was just a joke. And we had a blast. It was a great time over COVID when we were stuck, you know, inside. Where was I gonna go? Oh, okay. So then this dude finds this room. He goes by the name Sebastian, the Black Batman. So he comes in the room and he starts offering movies to everybody. I'm doing an anthology. I'm not gonna get into the whole thing, but I gotta get to this point. I'm doing an anthology. Everybody gets a movie. You get a movie, you get a movie, you get a movie. I'll pick 10 of you and I'll do the anthology and I'll take it to Netflix and then your dreams will come true. You know? And I'm like, as soon as I heard this shit, I'm like, this is gonna completely fucking ruin this room. Because that's what we're trying to get away from. You know what I mean? And so I know, second that's mentioned, everybody's gonna scramble like rats to try to get a piece of that. And it's only $5,000, dude, the budget. But that's not the catnip. The catnip is, I'll take it to Netflix. You know what I'm saying? That was the catnip. And people ask me behind the scenes, what do you think of this guy? I said, yeah. I said, I think he's full of shit, okay? But we'll see, man. You know? But after a while, there was so many red flags. I'm like, nah, man. I don't trust this guy. Here's an example of some shit that was going on. So he did get money to people. He did do that. But some people were just, I think 2 people just disappeared with the money. They did get the five grand and they fucking disappeared and never did their shorts. And so I'm seeing this just like fucking Keystone Capers, how this thing is being run. I'm asking people, do you have a contract? And they're like, what? No. I'm like, dude, what are you doing? You know what I mean? It was just, the whole thing was run so fucking amateur. But then he says, I'm signed with ICM. ICM is gonna help me put this together, and we're gonna go to Netflix. So I'm like, listen, at this point, I'm kind of done with this bullshit. I'm gonna go check this guy out. So I go to ICM. I'll tell you who it was. Okay? You think I'm a liar and shit like this, Gavin? I'll tell you who the fuck it was. And if do you know any of these people? Can you get any of these people on the phone? Can you? You can go fact check me. Get them on the phone. You're a big shot, right? Go do it. Anybody I name. So it was Howie. And so who's Howie? Do you even know Gavin? He was a partner over there. So I call him up and I say, hey, what's up, Howie? It's Jason. I give my full name. And so I was like, oh, hey, what's up? I'm like, a little quick catch up, because I don't call him, So I'm burning a favor right here. a pretty big one. I'm calling a fucking partner, okay? And so I say, do you know this guy, Sebastian? I mean, that's not what I said. I said, is a guy by the name of Sebastian, and I gave the last name. I won't give his last name for the sake of privacy in this. Is a guy named Sebastian, blah, blah, blah. Is he signed there? And he's like, Howie's like, let me look real quick. And he comes back, he says, no. I said, okay. And he's like, you know what? Let me dig it a little deeper. Make sure, I said, all right, cool. Thank you so much. And he's like, I'll give you a call back. I said, cool. And so, 10 minutes later, he calls me back and he says, nope, not repped here. So I don't know what he did. He's a partner, okay? And so he says, no, definitely not. And so I said, okay, thank you. Have a good one, man. Appreciate it. And so I go and I tell some people, I don't give away who told me that. I just said, I talked to ICM and it was confirmed that he's not rep there, okay? So, I would take anything he says from here on out with a massive block of salt, okay? So I told people that, and then that pissed a lot of people off because it looks like I'm popping their balloon, their dream. I'm killing it. I don't want to know that it's fake. No, I don't want to know that. I don't want to know that he doesn't have the clout that he says he does. There's my question right there, Gavin. Were you part of that? Were you part of that? I kind of fucked it up for everybody. All I did there is I gave people what? The fucking truth. But that's what happens, man. That's what happens when you give people the fucking truth. They don't like it. You like that I made fun of your movie and just showed you that you barely made anything of that? What'd you do with it? Did you sell it to Sundance for $20 million? Like, you don't fool me, dude. I don't think you're a fucking huge director. I don't. There's nothing about you or your life or your movies or whatever that I'm fucking jealous about. Okay? Are we done? That's it. The end, bro. Why don't you just keep my name out of your mouth and spend that time? Who else are you talking shit about? There's another question for you. Who else are you talking shit about? Like, what a waste of your fucking time. This is the last bit of attention you get from me, dude. Fuck you, and but good luck out there. I hope your dream comes true of being a big shot director, but you're definitely not one right now. Okay? You don't fucking fool me in any way. There's no reason I should bow down to you. Nothing. Okay? Bye-bye, Gavin. Have a good life, dude. You know, I'll wait. If you get so fucking, I'll never hear of you ever again. You get me? You get what I'm saying? I don't believe I'll ever hear of you ever again. I don't think you're gonna be one of those directors that blows up like fucking whomever, like Obsession or something. You got kids who are 20 years old kicking your ass out there, fucker. Okay? Fuck you, dude. Bye-bye. Good luck. Mwah. Good luck, Gavin. Bon voyage. Mwah. Let's see if your fucking dream comes true, dude. It hasn't yet. Fuck off, dude.